Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in again. I had so much fun filming and editing the last video that I decided I'd do it again. So here I am. In my last video, I mentioned a project pan, and I thought in this video I would go more in depth as to what a project pan is, kind of everything involved in it, and then maybe some tips and tricks for you in case you're struggling with the project pan, or you don't know what it is, or you don't really know how to get started. The reason I started a project pan is because I was watching beauty news, and at the beginning of the year they mentioned that they were doing a team project pan. So they were gonna have a hashtag and everything, so you can hashtag it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and it kind of just brings a whole community together. So other YouTubers or even just regular people like you and I that are doing a project pan, we can post our photos, hashtag team project pan, and then we can see everybody else's progress. It helps to motivate each other because we'll comment on each other's photos. It helps to motivate yourself because you see oh, in this month they were able to use all of this product, or they were able to hit pan even though they started off with a brand new eyeshadow, or just whatever it is, and it kind of motivates you to keep going, and seeing other people's progress kind of makes you want to show your progress too. A project pan is when you take certain makeup products or skincare products, body care products, and you really dedicate yourself to them so that you can either hit pan, so you just see the metal pan that's underneath, or you use them up until they're done. That's what I'm doing. I'm using the products that I've chosen until they are gone, or at the very most until the end of this year, December 31st. I have had most of my products for about 3 years, or this is just something that I've constantly bought over and over again, and I want to try something new, but I still have so much of whatever it is that I don't want to have multiples. I really don't like having multiple makeup products of the same category, unless it's eyeshadows, highlighters, or lipsticks, because those I feel like you can really change and get your use out of. But blushes, if you have too many, they all start looking the same. Same with bronzers. Same thing with setting powders. You have so many, and you either neglect most of them, or they go bad, or you just don't even know which ones you like anymore because you have so many. There are a few ways to do a project pan. So you can do them monthly. So every month you take products out of your makeup collection, especially if you have a very big collection, and you dedicate yourself to them for a month. So if you remember that you love a Too Faced foundation, or an Hourglass one, but you haven't used it, you can use it for the entire month of let's say April. You start it next month, right? You use it for the whole month of April. You realize why you loved it, or you realize, hey, this doesn't work for my skin anymore. You can continue using it if you love it, or you can pass it on or throw it away if you don't, and it gets rid of clutter. You can do a project pan, a rotating project pan, and this is more of a seasonal thing. So wintertime, you have your dedicated products because they work with however your skin is in the winter, whether you have dry skin or if you have oily skin, your skin starts to normalize a little more. And then springtime, summertime, it starts getting warmer. You want to use different color palette in your eyeshadows as well as your blushes. You want to use a highlighter that's a lot more radiant and stands out more. So this way you can get a feel for the products that you have in your collection, get use out of them, but also not be stuck with them for so long. Or you can just use your products until you realize you don't like them anymore, you're absolutely tired of them, or until they are completely gone, and then you move on to the next. I am using my products until they are gone. I have my whole makeup bag that has my entire face of makeup, but only 5 of the products are really in my project pan. The rest are my foundation, where I only have one foundation and I'm using it until it's gone, and then I'm buying a new one. Same thing with mascara and lipsticks and lip glosses and my eyebrow powder. Those aren't necessarily project pans. I'm just kind of letting them live their natural lifespan, I guess. The first 2 products in my project pan are the Becca Cosmetics and Jaclyn Hill collaborations. I have the eyeshadow palette as well as the face palette. These were my very first high-end makeup products that I bought myself, and I didn't want to use them and I didn't want to give them away because they were my first, so they just like kind of held a special place in my heart. But I got these 2016 and it's now 2019, so it's been 3 years. I feel like I should have used them up in these 3 years. So that's why this year I'm really dedicating myself to them. I started my project pan in January 1st, 2019, and I've made pretty good progress. So in the eyeshadow palette, I've made pretty good progress. I've made a pretty big pan on this pink shade. This pink shade really doesn't show up on me. That's part of the reason why I never really use this palette. But what I've been doing is I just take a really fluffy blender brush and I swirl it in there, just swirl, 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 and then I tap it in, or I apply it to my lid and then I'll blend it up to my crease. Same thing for the other eye, and sometimes I'll just build until I get bored. This shimmer shade, I actually did hit pan on it, but I dropped the palette and half of the eyeshadow broke and fell out, so I decided to repress it, and so the little bit of pan that I had is now gone. Next, I have this purple shade, which I don't know if you can see, but this dark spot I've made a dent, and I'm hoping to hit pan maybe by like mid-April, hopefully by the end of this month. So yeah, right now I'm really dedicating myself to this purple shade, the pink shade, and this shimmery shade. And then once I hit pan on these two, I'm giving up on them, and as well as this one. And I'm going to dedicate myself to this brown shade and this bronzy shade. Those are my favorite for like an everyday glam. I blend the brown into my crease, and then I'll take my finger, I'll tap it into the brown or the bronze, and then tap it all over my lid, and then I'll blend once again. And I love it for every single day. I think it's such a like kind of beautiful, natural glam look. It's very simple, but it just gives your eyes such amazing definition. So that's that. I'm not this one I might finish, just like trying to use these up. I'll finish this one. But these, once I hit pan, I'm honestly done with them. Like once I see pan, I'm like, okay, I got my money's worth. And then these two in the middle, I'm most likely going to try and finish up. And if I don't finish them by the end of the year, that's completely fine by me. But if I do, great, you know. Then I have the face palette. This palette comes with, this is a big pan. I'm trying to like make sure this doesn't blind you guys. This comes with 2 highlighters and 3 blushes. I love these highlighters. I used to have the solo pan of this champagne pop color, but that one I dropped it and it broke and shattered everywhere. Like the powder was all over the floor and I didn't want to repress it. And then I've never had this one individually. This one came in this palette. I really love these highlighters. They're so beautiful on the face. I'm wearing it. See, like they're just so beautiful. But like I said, I've had these for so long that I just don't really care for them anymore. So I'm trying to use them up to get my money's worth. And so I'm not just like tossing out a perfectly good product. I've hit pretty good pan on Champagne Pop, because this one actually fell out of the pan completely and I had to repress it. And usually when you repress something, it represses a lot looser than it originally was, so when you dip your brush in there, it picks up more. It's kind of dustier, so you use it up a lot faster. And this one I haven't hit as much pan. I hope to hit more pan soon, but it is what it is. These I'm gonna like finish up completely. It doesn't matter how long it takes me. I think I'll be able to get through them by the end of the year, because these pans only took me 3 months and there's 9 months left in the year. And then the blushes, I use them because they're in the palette, but I don't really care for them enough to like dedicate myself to them. So I'm using them because they're in there, but once the highlighters are gone, this whole palette is gone as well. I might give the blushes to like my mom or my sister. Next in my project pan is my bronzer. This is the Milani Baked Bronzer in the color Soleil. This is probably the third bronzer that I've bought of this same one. I keep using them up. Either that or I get tired of them and I'll like break them apart or just try to use them in other ways, or I'll literally just toss them. But I always end up going back to it because it's just the perfect bronzer. I really want to try something else, but I don't want to have like two bronzers because then I feel like I'm not using one enough, or I just feel like it's going to take me so much longer to get through them. So yeah, this is in there just because I want to try something new. I've had this for so long. I've been able to make like a dent in it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this like middle part that's kind of reflecting a little more. I'm able to like get down that far, but I've had this for at least 6 months, so I really want to get rid of it, and I want to try like the Anastasia bronzers. The shades look phenomenal. Next is my Coty Airspun Loose Setting Powder in the color Naturally Neutral. Again, this is probably the third one that I've bought. I've like mixed other powders in with it because I would have so many and I'm like, I just want to have one. So I would like crush them up and then put them in here, and it would just add more product and it would take me so long. And then sometimes I would try to press them in here. So I'd mix them with like rubbing alcohol, press them down, and then they would be completely ruined because then I couldn't even get product off because they would just create like a seal at the top of it. So this is the first one that I've actually kept intact, minus the little sifter, and I'm trying to use it up so that I can try the Laura Mercier one because I'm tired of it. It's a good setting powder, especially for the price, but it just takes so long, and I get bored of products easily, so that's why this one's in here. I'm gonna dedicate myself and get my $8 worth, you know. I even tried to mark it in February. I don't know if you'll, oh, there it is. I tried to like mark it in February to see where I was, but it just didn't work out because it's not even like all the way around. So now I'm just kind of eyeballing it and just waiting until I finish it up. And the last thing in my project pan is this Ralph by Ralph Lauren roller perfume. I have had this for about 2 years. I've had other perfumes, that's why this hasn't been used up yet, but I have so many of those roller perfumes, or like sets of perfumes where they come with the lotion and like a travel size perfume, that I'm not using them like I should be, so I'm trying to use these up. I did mark this like where I was when I first started, but it's rubbed off with me like twisting it open and everything, so I'm just using it up. And yeah, that was my project pan. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Some tips if you are starting a project pan or are struggling is make sure you use products that you actually like, and if you don't like them, honestly get rid of them, because trying to use up a product that you already don't like is going to make the experience so much harder for you. Trust me, I've done it in the past and I was miserable. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's another one, subscribe, because there might be, and you'll be the first to know. Have a great day, have a great morning, have a great evening, have a good night's sleep, whatever you're doing, and check back later to see if there's another video. Bye.